Welcome back into KSLSports.com, the Cougar Tracks podcast. Mitch Harper here, and joining me now is the BYU quarterback commit in the class of 2025. He just took an unofficial visit to BYU's campus, took in a game day atmosphere when BYU took down the Southern Illinois Salukis. He is Nolan Keeney. Nolan, thanks for taking the time to catch up, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I got to ask, how was that visit to BYU on campus, your future school, and seeing that game day atmosphere?
It was great. Unlike anything I've ever experienced. Haven't gone to many college games, but it was great. It was, something. Can't wait to be playing in front of one day, hopefully. Was
that your first game day experience of BYU?
Yeah. I've never been down there for a game, so it was really cool to see.
What does an unofficial visit look like? Because I know for people that maybe aren't familiar with the recruiting game, unofficial visits, typically you got to just pay your own way. Official visits, BYU or the school is taking care of the visit. But besides the game, what else transpired on your visit?
So my brother lives down there with his wife, so I just kind of stayed with him. It was just me that came down. My parents didn't come this time. But other than that, it was just kind of going to the game, getting to meet with some of the recruiting coordinators before, and then, have a meal, get to watch the game from some pretty good seats they gave us. And then after that, kind of just go into the locker room, get to see the, post-game talk with head coach Kalani. And then after that, it was kind of just, wrap up, say thank you to the coaches for having me. And then, quick short drive back with my brother back to his apartment. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it was an eventful weekend. Amidst it all, you saw BYU quarterback Jake Retzlaff have a big game. How fun was that to see, Jake go off for some big numbers, and what was maybe running through your mind while you were watching that performance?
Yeah. It was, just like Coach Roderick, showed me and told me. He said their offensive game scheme plan kind of, as he was recruiting me a couple months ago, he liked to take a lot of deep shots, and it was really good to finally get down there and see, a lot of their, game plan and offensive scheme. So that was really cool to see, that he's not lying when he says the quarterback has, a lot at task, but at the same time, can have big games, and, that's something that really intrigued me.
Nolan, your recruitment's been fascinating because BYU offered you during the spring evaluation period, and a few weeks later you pounced on that offer and committed to BYU. What was it about this BYU program that appealed to you so much?
Yeah, for me it checked all the boxes. I was, going to a lot of other schools at the time, had a lot of other interests, and up to that point, that was the last school I visited before I decided to commit because, it checked every box. I like the league that they're in. I like the school. I like the location. My siblings, 3 of them, they go there. I like everything about it. Has a great religious beliefs for me personally, and has a really good core team value, good, human values, and everything about it just seemed like the right spot for me. So, decided kind of why wait, and better to just get it out of the way and kind of have it behind me and just get ready for a senior year and not have to worry about anything.
Well, and I was going to ask too, with typically over the years following recruiting, especially with BYU, it seems like when BYU gets a commit, maybe more schools get into the mix and try to poke around and say, hey, maybe are you interested in us? Has that happened at all since, BYU, offered and you ultimately committed? Have other schools tried to get into the mix to try to sway you, or are you pretty much locking it down and staying true to BYU?
Yeah, I'm definitely staying true to BYU. I love the school, and, I appreciate them for, showing recruitment in me, even after a season only playing 7 games. So it shows a lot to, take a shot on someone that, didn't play that much, and all these schools, after recruiting me, and, so a lot of schools that are, coming in later, I guess you could say, don't have as, big of an effect on me, or really even at all, because, I'm true to BYU because I appreciate them so much for showing the interest early. Just like, kind of to take a shot on someone who, didn't play that much their junior year, but he liked what he saw enough to shoot me an offer. So I, took up the opportunity. It was a great opportunity for me. So, yeah.
How would you describe how your high school career has gone to this point? And I know that you had, a collarbone injury last year. Just maybe to this point, summarize how things have gone and what your goals are for your final season at Tualatin High.
Yeah. Last year was obviously pretty devastating. Had a really good squad. Had a lot going in the state championship, broke it twice actually. So, breaking it in the state championship again was really devastating because that's, what I came back for and I really was aspiring. But overall, it was still an amazing season. Super proud of all the guys that were on that team because, we really came together as a team. But up to my high school point, I'm pretty proud of the way we've, set the standard at Tualatin and, we're starting to establish ourselves across the state. So it's really nice, to see that and, just look forward to, senior year, having the commitment out of the way and not having to play with any pressure on my back. So that's also super nice to not have to worry about that and just to go out there and have fun and try and ball out and, break some records, hopefully.
Well, that's awesome. And what type of offense do you run at Tualatin?
It's pretty similar to BYU, actually. We spread team, got a couple good tight ends, a couple good wideouts. So we're throwing it deep quite a lot, you could say. So, saw that a lot on my film if anyone watched it. But that's a lot of our Don Ferraro, our head coach's scheme. So that's also something that really, I like to play for. And, it's great to be a part of, which is, what you really want to be a part of. And, going kind of transitioning over that into the same offense as BYU, it's something to be excited for the future for sure.
Oh, yeah. I was going to follow up on that. And, because thinking of that Southern Illinois game that you saw in person, that was pretty much in lockstep with what you're running.
Yep, exactly. So that's, something that I'm really looking forward to, that Coach Roderick wasn't lying to me when he's saying they like to, throw it deep and take a lot of shots and put a lot of reliance on their quarterback. So I really liked what I saw when I went down there.
That's great. Talk with Nolan Keeney for a few more moments here on the Cougar Tracks podcast. I got to ask too, Nolan, on the press box at LaVell Edwards Stadium, there's retired jersey numbers, and one of the guys that's a retired jersey hails from Tualatin High School, Tualatin, Oregon. That's Luke Staley. Do you know of Luke Staley, the BYU great?
Yeah. I have not met him, but, ever since I committed there, always walking around Tualatin there, a lot of teachers or, coaches will come up to me and say, hey, who played for Tualatin that went to BYU, right? I'm like, yeah, man, Staley. So he's definitely, kind of a legend around here. He was a hell of an athlete, everyone says. So it's cool to be a part of that and to match that, I guess. But also, I guess, not to put pressure there, but there's a lot to live up to coming from Tualatin High School.
Well, you'll create your own path, I'm sure. But, I wanted to ask that because I think you guys will be the only two BYU players, I think, that have ever come from Tualatin, Oregon. There's been some others that have been from Oregon, but specifically Tualatin, it's very unique. But I also wanted to ask, last thing for you, Nolan, before I let you go, and appreciate your time.
Yeah, for sure.
What's kind of the timeline when you planned after you sign with BYU in December? What's your timeline for when you want to arrive at BYU? And I ask that because you are a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. What's kind of your timeline in your head, or is that still to be determined?
Yeah, for sure. Nothing's like 100% sure, but as of right now, I'm pretty locked in on going to serve a mission right after I graduate early. So I'll do that, and then I'll probably enroll for the class of 2027 at BYU. So it could be a while before I get, right in there. But, faith is first for me, and getting an opportunity to serve the Lord is something that I've been looking forward to for, my whole life. So.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that, too, because, talking over the years with many BYU recruits, there's been examples of guys that say that their desire to go on a mission probably hinders their chances of getting some offers. Do you feel like you had some schools that were maybe interested, but then they asked, like, are you going on a mission? And then they backed off. Was that ever happening in your recruitment?
Yeah. Not really, at least for me.
Yeah.
But I was kind of, wasn't really during my recruitment, I wasn't, super focused on it. And as I've kind of let it all play out and I let kind of God take the wheel, he kind of just played it all out for me, and BYU was the perfect option for me. So it seemed like, he had it all taken care of, and, there's a plan for everything, and it all checked out for me, which is I'm so grateful for. And just for that to work out like that was, kind of amazing to see. So I feel kind of not that, other schools were, against it or anything. It's nothing
Sure.
against any of my other offers, but just for BYU to have a spot that has players do it, regularly, it was something really good to see for me. So that checked another box as well.
Makes sense. Well, folks, you can follow him on Instagram, Nolan Keeney with 2 Y's at the end. Follow him, follow his journey, and show support to him at his career at Tualatin this year and then down the road at BYU. And Nolan, looking forward to covering your BYU career. Looking forward to it nonetheless, and congrats on all your success, and have a great senior season as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.